This just into 680 News. We're getting word that former Toronto Mayor Rob Ford has died. At last, we knew yesterday that he was in palliative care and had been sedated to be kept comfortable. News of Rob Ford's death comes in a statement from his family. Again, former Toronto Mayor Rob Ford has passed away. Stay with 680 News for the latest on this developing story.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. It's 11:07.
680 News Time, 102.
We're breaking news on the death of former Toronto Mayor Rob Ford. The councillor, who was 46, lost his 18-month battle with cancer this morning at Mount Sinai Hospital with family members at his bedside. And with a statement, his family calls him a dedicated man of the people. Reaction is pouring in to news of Ford's death. We'll be speaking with city councillors and the general public, as well as taking a look at comments on social media. But first, 680's political affairs specialist John Stahl takes a look back at Ford's colorful career.
Well, I think we have to take the long view and measure the man on two levels, personal and political, through three stages of his life: before mayor, while mayor, and after mayor. Before mayor, he was outrageous; while mayor, contentious; and after mayor, very courageous. The before mayor part, it was his characterization of council and its corruptive spending that was so outrageous and got the attention. While he was mayor, of course, enormously contentious in his determination to cut the services, build the subways, and hide his addiction to booze and cocaine, despite being outed by cell phone pictures that clearly showed his erratic and reckless behavior, not to mention the Toronto Star investigation that concluded that, yes, he was a cocaine user. And then after mayor, very courageous in dealing with the battle to fight the bottle and the cocaine, along with the cancer, and his determination to continue to keep working as long as he could and as hard as he could on behalf of the people of Toronto.
That is 680's political affairs specialist John Stahl. Now, there are few dry eyes at City Hall today as councillors pause to remember the former mayor. 680's Momin Qureshi has been getting reaction. He joins us live. Momin?
Yes, Brian, the people are signing a book of condolence here in the rotunda here at City Hall. The flag flying at half-staff already outside the doors of City Hall. Inside, many councillors reacting, including a confidant of Rob Ford's and fellow councillor Giorgio Mammoliti.
And I personally will miss the hell out of Rob Ford at City Hall.
Now, Councillor Norm Kelly was close to Ford as well, his deputy mayor eventually taking over as the de facto mayor during the height of the scandal. He says this has rocked him back on his heels.
I think he learned his lesson. I think he rehabilitated himself only to face this. Just doesn't feel fair.
Now, Councillor Shelley Carroll speaking as well, I asked her about the fact that there are a lot of bad things along with the good things that happened with Rob Ford, and she says it's all about putting things in perspective.
In any loss, we've all lost family members and close friends. Perspective takes a few days. And Rob was a person with demons, and I know that some of you will speak about them and write about them over the next few days, and we're all going to think about them. But this is day one, and all you feel is that gaping hole of a loss.
At City Hall, Momin Qureshi, 680 News.
Well, he was known as a fighter for the little guy. Rob Ford loved dealing with the public. 680's Kevin Meisner's been speaking with Torontonians about the former mayor. Kevin.
Messages in memory of Rob Ford now being written in sidewalk chalk here in Nathan Phillips Square. Most Toronto residents are reacting the way Sonny is, who tells me this is a crushing outcome for not only the former mayor, but his family.
It's sad to see another person lost to cancer, you know. Rob Ford had good intentions for the city, regardless of what he did, you know, with his personal life. I'm sorry to hear that he's gone, and one less person to care about the city.
Now, Amy says her enduring memory of Rob Ford's time as mayor is, of course, his admitted crack use and those late-night comedian punchlines.
He helped put Toronto on the map. You got to give him that, you know. He was on, like, Jimmy Kimmel and stuff. Like, no other Toronto mayor has gone that far, so...
Now, among the messages written in sidewalk chalk here right under the Toronto sign in Nathan Phillips Square, the city will always have a part of you. Rest in peace, Mayor Ford. You will not be forgotten. In Nathan Phillips Square, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News Time, 106.
Well, social media has been alight with comments about Rob Ford today. 680 Charlene Close has been monitoring what's being said. She joins us live. Charlene?
Brian, we've just received tweets from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He tweeted his condolences, saying Ford fought cancer with courage and determination. Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper also tweeting, calling Ford a fighter throughout life and a dedicated public servant who will be remembered for his courage, love for Toronto and his family. Premier Kathleen Wynne says she was saddened to learn that former mayor had passed away. She led a moment of silence at Queen's Park during question period this morning. We've also had a reaction come in from mayors across the GTA, including Vaughan's Mauricio Bevilacqua. He says Ford worked tirelessly to champion issues close to his heart. Even late-night TV comics who joked about Ford's life are offering condolences. Jimmy Kimmel tweeting, Ford was an unforgettable guy who loved his job and city like few men I've met. Now, TMZ has not been so kind, tweeting a photo with the line, Crack Mayor dead. Reporting live, Charlene Close, 680 News.
680 News Time 107. Happening now in Belgium. Police raids continuing following.
680 News Time, 5:33.
Well, this is Budget Day in Ottawa, and the federal finance minister's handed down a fiscal plan that has money for pretty much everyone. We're going to go to Ottawa for the details in a moment, but we begin with the death of former Mayor Rob Ford.
680's political affairs specialist John Stahls had a long professional relationship with Councillor Ford, and he joins us now with his reaction and his memories.
Our relationship goes way back, long before he was mayor. In fact, he only became mayor because John Tory decided not to run in 2010. In fact, I was the first one to inform Rob that Tory wasn't running, calling him at 6 in the morning for his reaction only because he would react to any development at City Hall. And that's why we often called him. He was a little bit more outrageous in those days while criticizing the waste at City Hall, but he was absolutely great radio, ranting and railing over councillors' office budgets, pointing out that he didn't spend a dime of his. He'd call the place corrupt and incompetent. I couldn't believe what I was hearing most of the time, and he dropped the bomb to register to run for mayor after that call. Ramped up the gravy train mantra while appealing not to the establishment, but the littler folks who needed potholes filled and city housing fixed. To everybody but his and his family's amazement, he won. And of course, I called him on that day at 6 in the morning as usual.
Rob Ford, Mayor of Toronto, December 1st.
And how does that feel and sound to you?
Feels absolutely fantastic. I just can't wait to get into the office and start meeting with people. I'm actually just pulling into City Hall as we speak, so I have a meeting at 7 o'clock and to start meeting with people and getting the job done and getting the city straightened around.
And he was good to go for the first couple of years. Dumped Transit City on day one, got rid of the $60 car license fee, negotiated a labor contract, avoided a garbage strike before he and his administration began coming off the rails. But in a nutshell, there has never been anybody like him, probably won't be again. A street guy who called everybody buddy, got the little guy who in turn gave it back to him big time. Remembering Rofo, I'm John Stahls.
Now, Mayor Tory and other councillors are reacting to the news of Rob Ford's death. We continue our coverage with 680's Momin Qureshi live at City Hall. Momin?
Marlene, one of the people Rob Ford was closest to here at City Hall is Councillor Frances Nunziata. She was wiping away tears as she said the news of his death did come as a shock.
Rob has always been a fighter, and I thought he would be able to fight this. Unfortunately, he didn't.
It was really interesting because a similar story that many councillors were sharing is that Ford would show up to one of their family members' funerals when the cameras weren't there and when it was really unexpected, including when he attended the service for the father of Councillor James Pasternak.
I remember that fondly and appreciated it at a very difficult time for my family, for him to show that support.
Now, Councillor Shelley Carroll says Ford definitely had his faults, but this is not the time to be focusing on that.
This is day one, and all you feel is that gaping hole of a loss. I think that's as far as you want to go on day one.
Reporting live at City Hall, Momin Qureshi, 680 News.
Well, controversy became synonymous with Rob Ford when he was mayor, and 680's Charlene Close is taking a look at Ford's wild ride at City Hall.
It was nearly a year of denials, even when former police chief Bill Blair revealed the existence of the infamous video.
Toronto residents deserve to see it, and people need to judge for themselves what they see on this video.
Finally, November 5th, 2013, Ford fessed up.
Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
5 months later, he entered rehab and had this to say when he got out in June 2014.
When I look back on some of the things I have said and some of the things I did when I was using, I am ashamed, embarrassed, and humiliated.
Ford returned to the mayor's office but never did get his full powers back. Charlene Close, 680 News.
680 News Time, 5:37 in Ottawa. The Trudeau government's first budget's been unveiled.